Guys, it's so exciting being here today in Krakow. This is actually my first time in Poland, and the power of the developer community here seems incredibly strong, which is really, really impressive. So I'm here today to share some insight with you guys about the power of the Facebook platform. So I imagine some of you here are indie developers and medium-sized developers building games for Facebook on mobile. So we're really here today to tell you what can Facebook do for you. So just a bit of a background. My name is Julia Ognieva, and I manage Russian-speaking and Eastern European partnerships for Facebook from our London office. So I'm super excited to take you through the evolution of the Facebook gaming platform and kind of share where we're heading. So before we start, why does Facebook care about games? Well, the answer is very simple. Games are social. Games are social, and by social, I really mean people playing games either in the same room or over a network with each other and sharing basically the time they spend in the games by, collecting points, leaderboards, badges, and things like that. And also sharing the social experiences outside, like chatting to your friends at work or in a bar about, the high score you got in the game, or if you lost, you chat about how you can do better next time. So games are social, and so is Facebook. And at Facebook, we really want to help you developers find the people that would really, really love your game and have these incredible social experiences through Facebook, and how you can really engage through our platform with the gamers and players out there. So just a broader mission. At Facebook, our mission is to give people the power to share and make the world more open and connected. And games really fit in, and they're actually instrumental to the global mission of Facebook. So before we take a deep dive into the platform, I'd like to share with you some latest stats that we've been seeing. So overall, there are 1.2 billion people using Facebook every month, which is huge, right? Out of all time spent on mobile, including apps and mobile web, 27% of that time is actually spent on Facebook and Instagram. And that just tells you how engaged people are with Facebook. 14 is the average time a user checks Facebook on their mobile device every day. That also just tells you how incredibly engaged users are on their mobile devices and, as a result, Facebook. So there are 375 million people that play Facebook-connected game, whether it's on web or mobile, each month. There are 735 million clicks to games from Facebook, web or mobile, every day. And in last year alone, we paid out $2.2 billion to developers like you guys, which is an incredible amount, and it continues growing. And also, just to give you an overview and maybe break this stereotype a little bit of how diverse the Facebook gaming ecosystem is. So there are any possible genres you can actually imagine, from sports to hidden object to action, adventure, mid-core, strategy, hardcore, games, casino, simulation, you name it. And also, Facebook is unique because, unlike any other platform out there, it actually encourages you to build your games cross-platform. And not only that, we also give you the tools to build your games across all different platforms, not just Facebook alone. And why do we believe in cross-platform? Really think people these days are connecting from all sorts of different devices, from checking your MacBook in the morning to desktop while you're in your office at work, to your phone when you're commuting on a train, to checking your iPad before you go to bed. And as people hop devices, they actually expect the progress to be synced and seamless across the board. So we're all used to things like email and calendar being available on any device you access it from, and for you to have the same progress where you left off. And we really believe that games are no different, right? You really want to have your progress, whether it's on your desktop or on your mobile device. And, making your game cross-platform, make no mistake, if you do give your users the possibility to have that progress all across the board, they will reward you. They will reward you with more engagement, and as a result, obviously, more money spent in your game. We've actually run some studies at Facebook, looking at how Facebook-connected players behave if they're connected in cross-platform games. And what we found is that 2.4 times more engagement happened when the user connected both on web and mobile compared to just single platform players. Also, the engagement really went up on Canvas, and it increased 1.5x, which is great. And obviously, probably the thing that we care the most about is monetization. So the revenue actually went up 3.3 times, which is incredible. So you might be thinking, what are the tools out there to help me make my game cross-platform? Well, one of the incredible tools is actually Unity SDK. And at Facebook, we have a plugin that makes it very easy for you to port your game from mobile to web and the other way around. And today, there are 55+ million users that have a Unity plugin installed on their device, and they have played a Facebook game in the past month. And that number continues growing every day, which is great. Another great thing to help you make your game cross-platform is the Facebook login. So Facebook login really makes it easy for users to log into your game, and that helps you to personalize the experience by showing things like their name or profile pictures of their friends. That also allows you to sync the progress, if you say have a mobile game and a Facebook game, to allow to tie users' experience across platforms, for example, by using their unique identifier. Okay, so having looked at all these amazing stats, I know some of you here in the audience are maybe indie developers, some of you are medium-sized businesses, and you might be thinking, okay, these stats are incredible, but how can I benefit from all these amazing numbers, and how Facebook can help me grow my business, right? So I'm here today to talk to you about 3 pillars that Facebook offers: how to build, grow, and monetize your game with Facebook. So the first important pillar is build. How can Facebook help you build your game? So we own a product called Parse. How many of you have heard of Parse here? Okay, I can see a few hands out there, which is incredible. Parse is a suite that actually takes care of everything for your game, starting from backend, allows you to send push notifications, and also offers you Parse analytics. The great thing about Parse is it's everywhere. It's on every platform imaginable, from web to iOS to Android to Windows Phone to Java, you name it. So what is Parse Core? At a high level, Parse Core takes care completely of anything on your backend, starting from databases, servers, APIs, caching. It does everything backend so you can focus on something that really matters, that's meaningful to you, for example, building awesome features for your apps. Another important offering from Parse is Parse Push. So push notifications are actually a proven way to increase engagements within your game. And Parse can really help you to make these customized push notifications campaigns. And after that, you can track using Parse Analytics. So with Parse Analytics, you can actually track any point, any event within your games. So say you wanted to analyze at which point within your games users are dropping off the most, or which point in your game monetizes best. You can do all of this with Parse Analytics. So you can measure your app's usage, measure any event within your app, and also optimize your push campaigns. So here are just some of the partners that are already using Parse, from Wargaming to our friends at Nordeus in Serbia, to Warner Brothers, to Plarium, to GamePoint. There are a lot of guys out there already utilizing Parse. And probably the best thing about it, we just announced the new pricing for Parse at our developer event called F8 at San Francisco last week. And if you're a smaller developer, depending on the size of your app, Parse is actually starting from as much as free. So do check it out. One of the good case studies from, again, our friends at Playrix, based out of Russia, who used Parse Core to build a game called Township. So basically allowing Parse to take care of their backend and their servers, they had the opportunity to focus on creating the great features for their game and not waste time on worrying about servers being down and things like that. So in that time, Township actually received 4 million downloads in the first 3 months alone. And it continues growing. Actually, now it's one of the top grossing games on iOS in many countries. So this is how Facebook can help you build your game. So now let's talk about what features Facebook offers to help you grow your audience and grow your game. Okay, so there are a lot of tools that Facebook offers you to increase your audience. Some of them are organic, some of them are paid. So here are some of the organic tools that you can use. For example, Share Dialogue. Share Dialogue allows your users to easily share some achievements or key moments within your game in their newsfeed, which is great because it's a very powerful contextual way for the users to share their achievements. And because it's an explicit way of sharing, the quality of the traffic that it drives is actually very, very high. And the great thing about Share Dialogue as well, that the user doesn't have to be logged in within your app through Facebook login. They can just share their permissions as they're sharing a story, which is great. Another tool that integrating with Facebook allows you to do is being part of the Facebook App Center. And App Center is a great way for users to discover new apps and games to play, and also check out what games their friends are playing. Another powerful way to engage new audience and also re-engage the existing one is Facebook requests. So requests allow the users to interact with their friends by, for example, sending them gifts, lives, or any other meaningful items within your game to your friends, which also re-engages the existing audience. So please do have a look at the technical documentation on the developer site, and do make sure you use these powerful channels to acquire new users and engage existing one, because that's where most of your users would come from. And again, this is completely free. So probably this is no news to you, as most of you here are developers, that getting your app discovered on app stores has become a huge issue. There are millions of apps out there across iOS and Android. New games and apps are being added to the app stores every single day. So there are all these amazing apps out there, and you might be the tiny game somewhere along the line. So how do you get discovered? Well, the great news is that Facebook has the audience. So there are 945 million active monthly mobile people across iOS, Android, and mobile web on Facebook. And you have the ability to reach these users. Again, there are a couple of ways how you can do that. So Facebook can help you reach the right audience, whether it's through newsfeed stories that we've just talked about, where people share their stories on their newsfeed, and that allows you to bring new users into your game, or whether it's through mobile app install ads. Facebook continues to heavily invest in all of these channels, both organic and paid. So as people spend more time on Facebook, they discover the games depending on what their friends are playing, or what we at Facebook think the games they might be interested in, right? So let's chat about mobile app ads. They're actually a great way to get your app discovered, and there are numerous targeting capabilities that you can use to make sure the audience you reach is exactly the audience that you were looking for. So there are a lot of targeting capabilities, starting from mobile, demographic, custom audiences, social, and so forth. So for example, if you wanted to target, I don't know, a 35-year-old woman that lives in Krakow and likes Arsenal Football Club, you can do that. What we also realize is that there are 66% of all apps on all app stores are actually opened only once in their lifetime. That's actually a heartbreaking stat. As a developer, I can imagine you have spent all this time working on an app, months and months of hard work and sleepless nights, and then it's very, very hard to bring the user back into your app. Right, so for that we have a product called re-engagement ads. So for example, you can target people who have reached, say, level 20 in your game but haven't come back in the last month. You can re-engage with those users. Also, if you have a Facebook game, like Vincent here does with his amazing title, Vikings Gone Wild, you can also take advantage of the Facebook app ads on desktop, which is also really easily deployed, measured, and optimized. So let's talk a little bit deeper about targeting. So trying to reach the right users isn't easy. So for that, we have custom audiences. So if you know exactly what kind of users you're trying to reach, you can provide us with, say, their email addresses, phone numbers, or a user ID. In a privacy-safe way, we'll actually create a cluster of those users and target them for you. Another meaningful way to reach the right audience is lookalike audiences. So what that means is if you already have a cluster of a custom audience that you know you are trying to reach, we can create another audience that looks just like it, and we target those users. So basically, the capabilities are endless. Which is really exciting, and this is why Facebook is so powerful in helping you finding the new audiences for your apps. And what we've heard from developers that are already using the Facebook mobile app installs is that the ROI for users that came through mobile app install ads is actually the highest out of any other channel out there. So I really encourage you guys to try it if you haven't yet. So now we've talked about how Facebook can help you build, grow your app, and now let's deep dive a little bit deeper in how we can monetize your app with Facebook. So again, at the developer event called F8 last week in San Francisco, we launched a new product called the Audience Network, which is essentially an ad network that allows you to monetize your mobile game in 3 important formats. So from banners to full-screen interstitials to native ads that really help you make the experience in your mobile app really native and seamless. So I'd like to play you a short video that kind of breaks down what Audience Network is all about. Here you go.
Because when ads don't work for people, nobody wins. With Audience Network, we provide a mobile advertising experience for your app that works for everyone. Just pick the ad format that's right for your app. From banners and interstitials to customizable native ads that match the look and feel of your app. Then, Facebook's network of advertisers, using Facebook's accurate targeting, shows your audience ads they want to see from brands they care about. So you can build a business from the app you worked hard to create.
Here you go. So that's the Audience Network. And if you already have the mobile app, it's really easy to monetize it, not only through your, say, in-app purchases. If it's a free-to-play game, you can also use one of the advertising solutions that Facebook offers. And again, we expect it to be one of the highest monetizing channels because of the targeting capabilities that we have using the real identity of the users on Facebook. So just to sum up what we've just talked about, so the Facebook platform has really a lot to offer, a lot of tools to build, grow, and monetize your game. So from using parse products, from parse core to parse build to parse analytics, using Facebook login, using Facebook organic channels like shared dialogue, like Open Graph, like mobile app install ads, to monetizing your game through audience network, there is a lot to choose from. And on that note, I'd like to invite on stage our great friend at Facebook, Vincent, the CEO of Every Day I Play, and who are the creators of the amazing game Vikings Gone Wild. Hey, Vincent.
Thanks. How you doing?
Very good, thanks. So Vincent's been working with the Facebook platform for over 5 years now, and it will be great for him to actually share the inside story of what it's like being the game developer on Facebook. So Vincent, could you tell us a little bit more about your experience of launching the game on Facebook and growing it to the state where it is now?
Absolutely. Just to share you a bit of my past, I started to make games on Facebook since 2008, and I've really seen the strong transformation of the platform in the last 5 years. As I used to joke, 2008 to 2011, the only time Facebook will contact me will be with a moratorium. You have broken the policy. Oops. And basically killing my app off and stuff. July 2011, Facebook enforced that we all use the Facebook credits, and since then, I've seen dramatic changes in a positive way for the developing community that I am. Specifically by the creation of this London office and relationship with developers. I came from being very isolated, using the API in a very, I would say, anonymous way, to having a really privileged contact with the team, having amazing feedback on how and what to implement, and also getting a lot of featuring, and basically help us, small indie developer, get traction on the platform without killing ourselves with advertisement fees. So it's been a really great ride for us as a small indie studio so far. I'm very grateful.
Okay, great. So I guess there are a lot of developers in this audience. Are there any key tips you could give them on how to become successful on the Facebook platform?
Yeah. And I think those tips are not only related to Facebook. I'd say that for us, there's been 3 key steps to the success we are right now. Retention, monetization, and acquisition. And they come in this order. So the idea is that before we got any traction, or even we started looking at our monetization value, we really spent a month, 2 months optimizing our retention. Because there's no point pouring hundreds of thousands of players in a game if they will all quit on the 3rd step of the tutorial because it's a bug or because it's not clear. So having this iterative approach of understanding who stays and who leaves and when was really instrumental in the success of what we had. And on this, actually, the Facebook platform provides great analytics in the back that helps us on this. And then monetize. So obviously, it's very important to understand how much money you make per users and where they spend. But there's no point looking at this until you get retention. And once you masterize your retention and monetization, then you can start pouring users. And on this side, I would say there was really 2 instrumental channels for us. Open Graph. Open Graph really, actually not in the past, is bringing over 2,000 players a day, new install, for free from the platform. So I would say that any developer who wants to go on the Facebook platform, this is a key channel to implement. And the other one was the app to user notification. So it's a notification that the app sent. So we have the power to send this notification to the users. There are some rules. You need to make sure there is 17% click-through rate. But if you do that, it's been very good for retention. It's bringing about 10 to 15,000 clicks a day on the platform for us, and so there's a lot of returning users. It's also instrumental to the success of the long term of the game.
Thank you very much, Vincent.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much, guys, for being here with us today. So just to recap, Facebook is an actually incredible gaming platform offering a whole suite of tools and instruments that you can use to really grow your app, especially organically. Like Vincent mentioned, there are tools like requests, like notifications, like Open Graph that allow you to bring a new audience to your game at actually no extra cost, right? So especially if you're sort of starting out, an indie developer, there are many, many tools available to you to just go do that.
Absolutely. If I may add a word, the truth is right now, as we started as 2 people with a very limited budget, and we are now, I'm very proud to say, a 14-people studio of talented people from Krakow. And we did this only with the Facebook platform. Our game only exists on Facebook. And so it means that you can do it. There is a big question of distribution of your game when you do something. And we met with many publishers, which more often wants to have, take the full right of your game in every language, every platform in the world. And turned out being with Facebook for us was the key to our success. We still own our game. We had 1.5 million installs so far on the game with very little marketing spending. So I encourage you to look at it because it's how we became what we are right now. So thank you.
Great. Yeah, like I said, Vincent is a very good friend of the Facebook platform, a very good citizen, should I say.
Well.
But we are very open. We love great games at Facebook. We're very approachable, so if you do have great content, we're always happy to help you and advise on how you can grow and make your game a success on the Facebook platform. So just to wrap up again, the 3 main pillars that Facebook focuses on is how to build, grow, and monetize your game. So do look deeper into all these different pillars, and I'll be around at the conference for the rest of the day. If you have any questions at all, feel free to ask. Thank you.
Okay.